I think most people take waking up in the morning for granted. They rush through their morning routines without a second thought. But not me. I'm grateful for every tiny ritual that the morning brings. I'm grateful because there was a time when I didn't want to wake up at all. My name is Elise, and this is my story. This was me at age 4. Cool is not a word I would use to describe my younger self. But for the most part, I was normal. I had a happy, healthy childhood, and I was your average moody teenager. But then things changed, and my life got not so normal. Depression showed up for the first time in my early 20s. I felt exhausted by everything. There were times when I would spend days in bed, blinds drawn, sleeping for 16 hours at a time. When it got really bad, I wasn't just losing the will to get up and leave the house. I was losing the will to live. I think people misunderstand suicide, especially when it comes to mental illness. I never wanted to die. I knew that wasn't the answer. But my brain was telling me that suicide was this warm, peaceful escape, and sometimes it just felt too hard to resist. And when things got really bad, I wrote a bunch of letters to the people that I loved to say goodbye. This one was to my best friend. Hey, Picklehead, when I'm gone, don't let your grief consume you. Remember to leave the house and keep running. I know my stamina will be better in the afterlife, so I'll even come with you. I think you should run a marathon. You would really smash it. Now, here's where things get confusing. It wasn't just sadness and depression all the time. I was also happy, incredibly happy. See, there were also times where I was so excited to be alive that I couldn't even sleep. I would get in my car and race down the highway at top speed just for the thrill of it. When you're attempting suicide one week and high on life the next, that's a pretty big sign that it's time to seek professional help. So I did. And with the help of all sorts of medical professionals, I was eventually declared a certified mentally ill person. Bipolar is a mood disorder that is characterized by alternating episodes of depression and hypomania. Getting that diagnosis felt like a huge relief. All of my bizarre behaviors started making sense to me, but it was also terrifying. I was sure I would never be able to hold down a regular job again. And everyone I loved was going to leave me. And I would end up alone, surrounded by cats, which I'm allergic to. And that's exactly what happened. Well, not about the cats, but things did go sideways. For starters, I did have to quit my job. I just couldn't handle it. Half the time I couldn't get out of bed, and the other half the time I was in the hospital. And as for the people who loved me, some of them did leave. Mental illness is scary, and I lost lifelong friends because of what I was going through. But not everyone left. In fact, a lot of people stayed. My mom would come sleep beside me on my hardest nights so I wouldn't have to be alone. And my little brother would find ways to make me laugh when I felt like I couldn't. My siblings and my parents and even my aunties found ways to check in with me and make sure I was safe. While I wish I hadn't put them through the pain of my illness, all of the ways that they responded made me understand just how deeply they loved me. While some of my friends left, others showed up for me. They would write little notes and cards to keep me feeling loved. My best friend held me hostage in her house while I was hypomanic so that I wouldn't go out and spend all my money on a spontaneous tattoo. Having people around to help me through my struggle was critical. But the hardest part was learning how to take care of myself. Self-care doesn't just mean having a bubble bath or putting on a face mask. For me, it meant redesigning my entire life into something that was healthier and safe for me. Because if I take on too much, I can spiral into a depressive or a hypomanic episode. It's been all week that I haven't been able to go to bed. But as soon as I get an idea, it's like, oh my God, I have an idea. I have to pursue this idea right now Because when things make me excited, they make me really excited. Do you want to see what I was doing out there? You gotta come with me. It's a love letter on sticky notes. Took me a long time. That's pretty cute. I used to think I wasn't sick enough for medication, but I know now that the 7.5 little pills I take each day, they're keeping me alive. My antidepressants keep the suicidal thoughts away, and they also just help me get out of bed in the morning. And my mood stabilizers, they keep my highs and lows from getting too extreme. When I first started taking medication, I kind of thought it was gonna fix me and that I would become this completely emotionally stable person, but that's not the case. Today was hard. Kind of seemed like all at once I just got really sad and really tired. Just kept crashing and then crashing and crashing harder. I want to leave the apartment and just go somewhere where I can just cry and sleep until it's over, because I'm tired of exposing my partner to this. I don't know how much longer she's gonna want to put up with it, and how much longer she's actually gonna want to take care of me. Here's the thing. Asking for help is hard. Letting people care for you means you have to be vulnerable, and that's really scary. But when you do open up and let people in, things can get better. This is my girlfriend, Lauren. She's a filmmaker. We met about 3 weeks after I was diagnosed, and she's known about my disorder from day one. She's been here to love and support me ever since. And now she's helping me tell my story. It isn't just Lauren that's bringing more love into my life. Together, we co-parent 2 amazing kids, and they show me what unconditional love looks like. They love me whether I'm high or low, and being in their life makes me work harder to take care of myself so I can take care of them. When I was diagnosed as bipolar, I thought it was a life sentence. I didn't think I'd ever be able to live out this dream of having a family of my own. But what I've learned is that with enough love, I can thrive. Anything is possible as long as I'm loved by other people and I love myself. Mental illness affects you. It affects the people you know. It affects all of us. And a lot of people want to help, but they don't know how. Thankfully, the answer is simple. The answer is love. Love with kind words or hugs. Love by listening and believing. Love by donating your time or your money. Love by educating yourself and advocating for others. We are all connected. So if one of us suffers, we all suffer. And if one of us can begin to care and change, we all can.